Okay, so if your air cleaner looks anything like this one on your Fox body, or I don't care what car it is, if it looks like this, it looks like garbage and it's going to make the rest of the engine compartment look terrible. So my thoughts are, I know how to fix this, and I'm going to fix this, and I will show you how right here in this episode. Octagonal air cleaner, and I'm definitely going to get one of these, but I want to hold on to this one so I can check it against the new one to make sure it's right. Okay, so after a light coat of Brillo, well, not coat, but scrubbing, I'd say light, it was pretty heavy, but now I think I need to use a power tool to get it perfectly clean, and I'll be back. Hey, so I've been working on this. It looks pretty shiny in the sun now. The thing that I've been trying to do that I have a new idea about is get the lines straight around this thing like it was originally, right? Because that's how it kind of looked. What I'm trying to get is like a nice little polish, but then I also want it to be, you know, lined, and then I'm going to clear coat after I put the 50HO decal on here. Okay, so after a lot of scrubbing with the Scotch-Brite pads, I got it looking thus like this, which isn't too terrible. That said, yeah, great, a leaf just landed on there. That's lovely. A little windy out today. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try polishing it. I'm not going to leave it polished, but I want to just get it a little bit better. And then I'm going to do the circular scratches that are in the thing. I'm going to use this drill and the Scotch-Brite pad. I'll show you how I do that. Decided I'm going to use this Harbor Freight buffer over the Griot's Garage dual action, because this is not paint that I'm trying to make pretty, it's aluminum that I'm just trying to polish up, so I figure I'll just take some of this, get it on here. This, by the way, is Chroma Ultra Polish. It's not real aggressive, but it should be good enough for what I need to do here. This thing I have screwed down, not too hard, but just enough that it's not going to wiggle around on me, because it's not going to drive me crazy. Rub this all over the place. There we go, looking good. Yeah, let's see what she looks like when I wipe her off now. All this black stuff is just the aluminum. It's on here pretty good. I gotta really scrub. Okay, so I'm going to call this polished enough. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lines in it, and we'll see how that turns out. I'm using a Scotch-Brite pad. I'll show you exactly what's going on. What I'm going to do is use this bolt, right? It's a bolt with a couple of washers on it. I'm going to put it through here. Hopefully it fits, and we will then see, you know, if I attach to a drill and spin it using a red or maroon Scotch-Brite pad, if I get the lines that I want going through here. They're supposed to be straight, not in like a spiral, just straight across the thing. So let me get to work here. Okay, so here's all my tools. I've got the drill on here. I've got the bolt through here. I don't have it too tight because I don't want to like dent it at all. And I figure a little slippage isn't necessarily a terrible thing. I've got my nice fresh Scotch-Brite. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spin this thing up to decent speed, and I'm just going to come in and I'm going to try not to go this way with the Scotch-Brite, because I just want, what do they call it, concentric lines or something to that effect? Let's do a little test spot here and see what we get. Yeah, it's getting my the lines. I'm not sure if you can see that. I can, like right in here. I've got some like little lines. Now I'm going to try going a little bit more. We got lines. All right, cool. So now I'm just going to continue on. Fun stuff. I'm gonna call it good from my house. Alrighty. Fun stuff. Yeah, I like it. Sweet. Okay, now to peel this thing apart. put on my new 5.0 Nitro. I did start it off camera because it was driving me insane. Oh shit. These things are rough. If it goes off on the wrong side, then you got a problem, right? Come on. There we go. Sometimes creasing it a little bit more helps it sort of stick on the other one. That's what we really want. I don't want that to stick on anything, so let's try pressing it down. VH. Oh, it's supposed to be a dot. Come on. No. Dot. There we go. All right, we're winning. Not sure how much you can see of that. I'm sorry about that. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, is it mint? No, but you know what? Compared to what it looked like before, this thing is spectacular now. I'm loving it. Now I just got to paint up the other side. I'm going to wax this for now. I could clear coat it, but I want to just see how it works with wax first, because I want to see if I want to, you know, maybe do some more polishing around the edge, or what I want to do with this. Okay, so I wasn't obviously just going to clean the one part, but I wanted to show you this. This piece here, I'm going to be leaving on here because I heard it's unobtainable and you can't get a new one. Much like this piece that I actually need to fix. This thing is completely unattainable also. This just goes on here, and then this clips in up here. And this goes around to a piece that goes on the side here. So it's, you know, rather simple to get back together again, but just saying, this is going to wind up with a little paint on it. I don't think anybody's going to notice it's underneath the air cleaner. Okay, so I was just going to take off the flaky parts, but I figured I'm going to be primering it, unlike what they did, was just putting the black over it. And with that, I didn't want anything underneath flaking out. But getting in these corners here, I don't know that I really need to bother, so I just figure I got most of it pretty good. I'm going to get a little bit more under here, but I'm going to have to do that by hand. And then be careful when you're using these little wire brushes, because I jumped and, yep, shit happens, right? So, anywho, back to the fun here. Okay, so I think I'm good enough. I knocked down all the shiny parts on the base where it's not really loose. And I took all the loose stuff off of the arms. So now I'm just going to rinse them down and get them ready for my first coat of paint. Alright, so I'm up to the point where I'm going to prime them. I'm not like the factory in that, well, I believe primer is necessary on metal. I don't know, whatever special paint they had didn't apparently work, so that's why it flaked off. It's not like anybody was under there scratching the crap out of this thing. So anyway, let me just shake this up a little bit. And I'm using a Rust-Oleum filler primer. I'll be looking at it to see if I really feel I need to do anything. Now these are plastic. I'm going to paint over them because they don't look great. They have some scratches in them, and I figured a filler primer will probably help out. Here we go, second coat. here we go, painting in the trees some more. I got my Rust-Oleum semi-gloss protective enamel. It's just black because I really couldn't find anybody who had the right numbers, so I didn't have to buy factory color, whatever it is. Anyway, we'll give it a little shake, and then just a real fine first coat here. Should try painting the leaf first. There we go. Oh, that comes out real nice. Alright, so far so good. It went on light, but it covered most areas, and now we'll be on my second try. Okay, so they dried enough for me to flip them around. I was only able to turn these around, but that's okay. The other one I was able to flip all the way over, so I'm sure that I get every piece, because it's going to be the final coat. And hopefully, when I put this thing together, it's going to look primo. I think we are. Just wait for it to dry now. I'd love to get them in the sun. Okay, I have them hanging off of my shuttlecraft, so hopefully they will dry without getting too much leaves stuck on them or things like that. But I think this is going to come out really, really nice. I love the way the paint laid down. Okay, so now I've got it pretty much back together, not completely, but there's one thing that I really need to figure out how to fix. This has this piece stuck in it. It broke off of here, and this plugs underneath, under here. And apparently this thing is unobtainium. It went, they stopped making it years ago, and pretty much nobody's recreating it just yet. So that said, I'm going to try to get this out of here without destroying it. I'm going to try using a screw, and then I'm going to see if I can figure out some way of making that stay on the other way, with a stint of some type, or maybe some glue. I'm not really sure, but when I figure it out, I'll be back. Okay, so I've got it being held with a little thing from a 3D pen, one of those 3D printer things, and I got a glob of some stuff. It's called Allfix. Okay, it's not on there that pretty, but the nice part about it is it gets really hard and it's sandable. So I figured I'll put it on thick, and then I can always sand it down a little bit, just to make it so a hose will go on there nice. Because ultimately this goes underneath the air cleaner, and nobody's going to see it. It just needs to be functional, truly. But I do want it to look reasonably well, and obviously I want it to be able to clip in and not sit funny. So that said, this will be my fix for now. We'll see if it works. Okay, so now then, I got the thing pretty much all back together again. I'll tighten these up. I never did take off these gaskets because I don't have new ones, and these looked fine, and of course they're covered by the thing, so you're not really going to see them from the top anyway. But I did put this back in correctly. I cleaned up the line. Like I said, it had all schmugma on it and whatnot. And I cleaned up these. I didn't even realize these were special colors. There's green, blue, and red. And I believe these are the stock colors. In fact, all of these lines are stock. Like this one going in here has got a special line in it. And even this one is a sort of a weird material. So that said, I was able to fix this. I mean, it doesn't look beautiful. I did sand it down a little bit. I put a glob on, right? But this thing is perfectly strong. Like this is pretty stiff, and I'm actually lifting the air cleaner up with it. So it's fine. It's got to hold, and this stuff is good for getting hot. You know, it's not going to get that hot on the air cleaner here, but you know, it'll get warm, and it's supposed to be fine for that. It is spectacular stuff. I will definitely put a link below as to where you can get it, because it's just, I'm going to use it on more things, you'll see. But so it's time pretty much to put this thing back on the car. Let's go do it. And this is how things snowball. So now the air cleaner looks pretty good, but then the things that attach it are looking dirty. So I'm going to go and clean these up before I put this thing together. And then I know what's going to happen. I'm going to freak out about the rest of the under the hoods looking like crap. So there'll be that. Yep, it's a huge difference when you clean it up. I mean, this is what it looks like now. These are original Ford pieces, obviously. And this is kind of what it looked like before. So gonna clean this one up next. So it's not just like I do it magically. I'm using a stiff brush and just getting in these grooves to, you know, get most of the stuff out. And then there's been some like plastic stuff that's like stuck in here. It looks like caked on dirt. It doesn't come off with a brush though, so I think it's something like glue. So what I'm going to do is Gooby Gone. They sell it in a bottle. Okay, so now that I have the ducting approximately in the right place and looking reasonably well, and this is back on also, I feel like I can take this protective cover off, and I'm glad I used it, because this whole coronavirus thing had me doing other things. Got worried for my YouTube channel, but you know, craziness. I had a tree fall down. All right, that's not corona related, but it was a bit of a mess. So now this has this hose in the back. It just goes into a port on the manifold, and it's quite simple. I'll try to show it if I can. I think the only way to show it is going to be to come and get you. Alright, so now I think you can see down here. If there's enough light, I hope so. But this hose just has to go on there when you get it a little bit closer. And I think the reason these get ripped off all the time is because it's hard to see. And just be careful of that when you pull yours off, so you don't break that thing and have to fix it like I did. Okay, I had to switch cameras. The other one died. So now what I'm going to do is move this back a little bit. Actually, I'm going to take the lid off. To make it a little easier to see where I'm going. So I'm going to move it back a little bit, and before I do that, real quick, I'm going to do something for you, just in case anybody's watching this, to see where the hoses go. So essentially, the blue hose that goes through the piece here, that goes on the left as you look at it from the bottom, you know. And then the other one is basically a green. That goes to the right hand side, and then the red is one that comes off from the green, and the blue just goes right through. It goes to the outer, and this fishes around. It's all about heat, and this allowing heat to pass when it gets up to temperature, and then that closes the butterflies on here, which allows fresh air to come in. So when this gets up to a temperature, this stuff opens, and now you're no longer taking the heat from the exhaust manifolds and trying to warm up the car, if that makes sense. All right, here we go. Put this over here. Not the easiest thing in the world to see in here when you get big mitts in the way, but I think I'm getting it. Could be wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong. Come on, baby, get on there. There we go, she's on there good. Sweet. And with this, you just got to make sure you get this in here without kinking it. Come on, baby. There we go, she's on. And then we just got to put this up here. Okay, just get the other side corrected. Come on, baby, get on there. I think maybe I should have done this one first. My goodness, is this one difficult. It's so short. I don't know why it's shorter on this side than the other side. I know the engine's in the center, I think. Anyway. Maybe the air cleaner's just a little bit bigger on this side. I don't know. If anybody knows, explain it to me. Why would the engine be in the center and the fenders be the same width apart, but the hoses that are connected to the outer are different sizes? There we go. Now she's on good. Sweet. Okay. Next. So the Fram was $5.99. The CarQuest one was $11.99. I try to stay away from Fram these days, but well, when the guy opened it up to make sure there was one in there, this looks a hell of a lot like Fram to me. Doesn't that look like a Fram color to you? But, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with their air filters, to be honest. And now we just got to pop on our prettied up lid. Oh, get this little stick out of here. Alrighty. There we go. Now where did I put that wing nut? Okay, and now it's time to put the cherry on top. Got the original washer underneath it. Yeah, this really makes it look nice under here. I'm gonna have to do a little more cleaning up around it now because what looked worst now looks best. It's gonna need a lot of work, but this was the first one we purchased, and it's one of two only known cars with a moonroof, so it's absolutely positively got to be restored. It's coming on this channel.